A family in Colorado paid $74,000 for a camper van last spring. It passed the dealer's inspection. 60 days later, the subfloor was rotting from the inside. The lithium BMS was failing under load, and the repair estimate came back at $19,000. The van looked perfect. The paperwork was clean, and nobody checked the 6 things I'm about to show you. This video is a 6-category pre-purchase inspection framework built specifically for 2026, covering new factory units, used conversions, and certified pre-owned camper vans. By the end, you'll know exactly what to check, what to ask, what to walk away from, and what the dealer is quietly hoping you overlook. There's also one take near the end that most buyers and almost every van channel won't say out loud. This is not a tour. This is not a review. This is buyer intelligence. Let's get into it. Why 2026 is a uniquely dangerous year to buy. Before the checklist, you need to understand the market you're walking into, because 2026 is not a normal buying year. The campervan market is still digesting a hangover. Between 2020 and 2022, manufacturers pushed out units at record speed to meet pandemic demand. Quality control dropped, supply chain shortcuts happened, and a large number of those vehicles, now 3 to 5 years old, are hitting the used market right now, freshly detailed, freshly priced, and freshly dangerous. At the same time, new 2026 models from Winnebago, Storyteller, Hymer, and Airstream are shipping with lithium systems, integrated solar, and new water management layouts that haven't been stress-tested in real-world full-time use yet. Impressive on paper, unknown in practice. Here's what that means for you. The margin between a smart purchase and a financial mistake in 2026 is thinner than it's been in years. 6 categories, clear, pass, or flag on every item. Let's go. Checklist 1. Chassis and base vehicle. Start here. Always. Before you open a cabinet, before you look at the solar setup, before you ask about the mattress, you go under this vehicle. The base vehicle is the investment. The conversion is the packaging. Check 1. Engine oil condition. Pull the dipstick. Oil should be dark but fluid. If it looks milky or foamy, that's coolant intrusion, a head gasket failure. On Ford Transit EcoBoost engines, specifically the 2020 to 2022 high-roof models flooding the used market right now, this is a known issue. If you only remember one thing from this section, it's milky oil is an immediate walk, not a negotiation, a walk. I've seen buyers talk themselves out of that walk. Every single one of them regretted it. Check 2. Frame rails. Get under the vehicle and run your eyes along the full length of both frame rails. Surface rust is normal. Deep pitting, flaking, or structural compromise is not. On European platforms, Fiat Ducato, VW Crafter pay specific attention to the rear crossmember. That's the first place road salt does serious structural damage, and the last place a seller wants you looking. Check 3. Tire age versus tread. Most buyers get this wrong because they only look at tread depth. A tire can have perfect tread and still be a highway blowout risk. Look for the DOT code on the sidewall. The last 4 digits give you the week and year of manufacture. Anything over 6 years is a replacement cost you factor into your offer before you sign, not after. Check 4. Shock absorber condition. Push down on each corner. Rebounds once and settles, pass. Bounces repeatedly, fail. At Campervan load weight, worn shocks are a handling and safety issue, not a comfort issue. There's a meaningful difference between those 2 categories. Check 5. Brake rotors and pad depth. Look through the wheel spokes. Deep scoring on rotors, pads at the wear indicator, immediate brake service. Get that number before your offer, not after your signature. Spend 20 minutes under this vehicle before you spend 20 seconds looking at the kitchen. Checklist 2. Conversion and build quality. This is where you separate a serious professional build from a van someone assembled over a long weekend with YouTube tutorials and leftover timber. Most buyers look for how things look. What actually matters is how things are attached. Check 1. Cabinet attachment points. Push on every overhead cabinet. Hard. Now imagine it full. Dishes, canned food, helmets, 2 weeks of gear. If it flexes with your hand pressure alone, it's secured to wall cladding, not structural points. In a hard stop or emergency maneuver, that's not an inconvenience, that's a safety event. Check 2. Floor condition. Get on your hands and knees. Press the floor in these specific locations: under the sink, around the fresh water inlet, near any slide-out, and at the rear door threshold. Here's the simple way to think about this. Soft floor equals water damage equals subfloor rot, and subfloor rot in a campervan is either a 5-figure repair or a written-off conversion. There is no small version of this problem. Check 3. Ceiling and wall seams. Most buyers miss this next one entirely, and dealers know it. Look at every roof penetration, fan cutouts, vent cutouts, roof rack mounting points for staining, bubbling, or discoloration. A small brown ring around a fan mount is not cosmetic. It's the visible edge of a water damage problem that's been growing for months before you walked in. Check 4. Roof sealant condition. Ask when the roof was last inspected and what product was used. Lap sealant needs reapplication every 18 to 12 months. No clear answer means no maintenance. That goes directly into your negotiation number, or it's a reason to walk. Check 5. Slide-out operation. Run it 3 times. Smooth, fully sealed, no daylight gaps. A misaligned slide-out tells you something about the standard of care applied to everything else in this build. Checklist 3. Electrical systems. This section has changed more than any other in 2026, and it's where the most expensive post-purchase surprises are happening right now, because buyers are seeing lithium in solar and assuming modern means reliable. Modern means untested. There's a difference. Check 1. Battery age and capacity on AGM systems. AGM loses meaningful capacity after 3 to 4 years of regular use. On any 2020 to 2021 build, assume battery replacement within 18 months. Budget $1,200 to $2,500 and put that number in your offer before you finalize price. Here's how dealers quietly pass this. They charge the batteries to 100% before your visit. Everything reads full, and you never see what happens under sustained real-world load. Check 2. BMS load test on lithium systems. A failing battery management system gives phantom readings, 70% on the display, full shutdown under load. The test is turn on every 12-volt draw simultaneously. Compressor fridge, diesel heater, all lighting, water pump, all at once. Watch the voltage hold. A significant drop that doesn't recover means BMS failure or cell degradation. $3,000 to $6,000 sitting behind a display that told you everything was fine. If you only remember one thing from the electrical section, run this load test. It costs you 5 minutes and it can save you thousands. Check 3. Solar panel output. Ask for the system's rated peak output. Check the charge controller data log. A 30% shortfall on a clear day means a cracked panel, often invisible from outside, or a degraded connection. Both are negotiating leverage. Neither is something to discover after you've driven it home. Check 4. Shore power and inverter function. Plug in, confirm charging begins, run a real high-draw AC load through the inverter. Kettle, hairdryer. If the inverter trips or throws a fault, stop the conversation until that's diagnosed. Check 5. Wiring quality. Poor wiring doesn't fail at mile 1, it fails at mile 40,000 when a connection arc faults on a mountain road in the dark. Look at how wires are run, how connections are made, how runs are protected at metal edges. This is the difference between a van that lasts a decade and one that becomes a fire statistic. Checklist 4. Water and plumbing. Run the full system. Every faucet, every valve, no exceptions, even if the seller says it was serviced last week. Especially if the seller says it was serviced last week. Check 1. Pump pressure cycling. Fill the tank or ask the seller to fill it before you arrive. Run the pump, open a faucet, close it. The pump should pressurize and stop. If it keeps cycling with no draw, there is an active leak in the pressurized system. Most buyers miss this because the cycling sounds like normal pump behavior. It isn't. A pump that cycles at rest is a pump telling you something is wrong. Check 2. Gray tank drain valve. Open it, close it. Smooth operation, complete seal, no drip. Small repair on its own, but a neglected valve is almost always part of a broader pattern of deferred maintenance. Small signals tell you about big habits. Check 3. Hot water system. Run it to full operating temperature. Check every fitting and the TNP relief valve for leaks. If it's propane, verify the ventilation is adequate and unobstructed. This is not a comfort issue, it's a carbon monoxide issue. Those are not the same category of problem. Check 4. Winterization history. For any used unit sold in spring in a northern climate, ask specifically how it was winterized. Improper winterization is one of the most common causes of cracked fittings and pump failure on used campervans. A vague answer here is not a gap in the conversation, it's a flag about everything you cannot see. Check 5. Undersink and cabinet base inspection. Open every cabinet with plumbing behind or beneath it. Water staining, white mineral deposits on fittings, soft cabinet base, any of these means a slow leak that's been running longer than the seller is going to tell you. Here's how dealers quietly pass this. They detail the interior before a showing, fresh smell, clean surfaces, but detailing doesn't fix what's behind the cabinet door. Open everything. Checklist 5. Documentation in history. Missing paperwork is not a minor inconvenience. It is financial exposure with your name on it from the moment you sign. Check 1. Title or V5C. Lien clearance. USA, Carfax or auto check, minimum. UK and Europe, HPI check or national equivalent. Outstanding finance can transfer to you on purchase in many jurisdictions. Confirm clean title before this conversation goes any further. Check 2. Base vehicle service history. Full history on the engine, transmission, and chassis. Gaps in service records on a high-mileage unit mean unknown maintenance, which means unknown risk, paid for in full with your name on the title. Check 4. Open recalls. Cross-reference the VIN against NHTSA in the USA or national equivalent in Europe. An unaddressed recall becomes your liability the moment you take ownership. 5 minutes. Free. Non-negotiable. Check 5. Weight certification. If the conversion added significant mass, roof rack, lithium bank, solar array, full water system, verify the vehicle was legally uprated. Overloaded van plus standard certification equals illegal to drive in most jurisdictions and void on insurance in an accident. The controversial take. Here's what I actually believe and what most people in this industry won't say to your face. Dealer certification is a marketing term. It is not an inspection standard. When a dealer certifies a unit, they control the process, they set the criteria, and they have a financial interest in the outcome. There is no independent verification. There is no third party. There is just a seller telling you the thing they want to sell you has been checked by the people who want to sell it. And yet, buyers treat dealer certified like it means something official, like it carries weight, like it reduces risk. It doesn't. It transfers confidence, and that confidence is exactly what allows the $74,000 story at the start of this video to happen. Here's my actual position. A van with zero certification and a clean, independent inspection is safer to buy than a dealer-certified van without one. That makes some people in this industry uncomfortable. Good. The inspection is $300 to $500. Make it non-negotiable before price discussions begin. If the deal falls apart because you insisted on independent verification, that deal was already protecting you from something you couldn't see. In the USA, NRVIA certified inspectors. In Europe, National Camping and Caravanning Body affiliates or independent RV specialists. A legitimate seller at a legitimate price has nothing to fear from an honest inspector. Remember that every time a dealer pushes back. Who should buy? Who should avoid? Let me be direct. Buy in 2026 if you have a clear use case, a realistic budget with a 10% maintenance reserve, and a clean, independent inspection in hand. Retirees doing seasonal travel, families doing summer trips, inventory is strong. Prices on clean 2020 to 2022 used units are softer than they've been since 2019.
Negotiating leverage exists right now that won't be there in 12 months. Use it. Buy new if you treat the first 12 months as a shakeout period. Don't go full-time on a brand new unit before the build reveals itself. Give it a season. Walk if you're being pushed towards urgency, documentation is incomplete, or an independent inspection is being resisted. Too good pricing almost always means someone already found the problem you're about to inherit. Full-time van lifers, your standard needs to be higher than a weekend buyer's. This is your primary residence. Buy the platform. Ford Transit High Roof, Mercedes Sprinter, VW Craven, proven base vehicles with real parts availability on both sides of the Atlantic. That matters infinitely more than mood lighting in a herringbone floor. Here's the truth about this market in 2026. There are good vehicles available, genuinely good ones, but good vehicles and bad purchases are not opposites. They coexist all the time because buyers are making emotional decisions inside a process that requires financial discipline. Run the checklist, hire the inspector, treat every red flag as either a walkaway or a discount, never as something to revisit after signing. And remember this, because this is the thing I want you to carry out of this video. The van doesn't need to be perfect, the risk just needs to be known. That's not pessimism, that's the standard that separates a smart buyer from an expensive lesson. And in 2026, in this market, with this inventory, that standard is the only protection you actually have. One question, and I want a real answer in the comments. Dealer inspection or independent inspection? Which one would you actually trust with $70,000 on the line? And why? Drop it below. The debate in this comment section is going to be worth reading.